Good morning, good evening, and good night to everyone out there on the internet. You're listening to Lancing with myself. I'm Steve D from Tin Star Games, and this is the 5-minute weekly show where we talk about being a freelance game designer and creative, especially when you're low on spoons and low on cash. Last episode, we were talking about how you can't possibly think of every possible way to promote your game, and the difficulty in general of being the promoter, going into post-production and moving from designing a game to making a game. Now, these days, in many parts of the industry, you have no choice but to wear several hats. The industry is a cottage industry, as they say. That means that you are the designer, you're often the artist as well, you're the developer, you're the playtester, you're the editor, you're the printer, you're the publisher, you're the marketer, the distributor. You're in charge of pretty much every step of the way. So of course, why would I say wear many hats, since you have to? Because it is easy not to do that. You might, and you don't want to if you ever have a chance to do it by choice, that will prepare you for the times when you have to do it because you have no choice. So what you want to do as much as possible in this industry as you move across it is to wear as many hats as you can. Start off, be an employee, be a freelancer, or be an employee if you can. Work for people. And do different kinds of jobs in that. Work as an editor, work as a writer, work as an artist if you can, work as a proofreader if you can. Work at different stages. Be a line editor as well as a text editor. If you can't actually do the job, sit down next to somebody and watch them do the job, if you possibly can. Talk to the people doing those jobs if you can't do them. And then, try publishing something yourself. Try and actually going out and printing and cutting and sleeving things just to see what it's like. Talk to people in all sorts of different roles and get to know these positions as much as you can, so that you have experience when it comes time to do those. Now, obviously, some of these are harder than others, and some of them are much more difficult to set up. But the other thing that you're getting out of this is empathy. The first job I ever actually did in role playing was actually being an editor as well as an author. As well as a writer. So that meant I had a lot of empathy for what it was like to be an editor. So as soon as I did more and more writing, I was ready to provide what editors needed. Right? And that's really important. So if you can move around and do as much of every other job as there is, you will learn not only more about the whole process of how games are made, but you will learn empathy for the people around you and how to interact with them better. Because you will understand the pressures they're under and the difficulties they face, and you'll be able to relate to them better, which is the best way to get along with other people. So don't lock yourself into one kind of mode of producing games, and understand the whole width of the entire industry, and try to at least visit every stage of the process that you can. Drop in, have a go, learn every part of it, so you have an intimate understanding of the pressures of that job and the nature of that job, right? You should know how the sausage is made from the moment the pig is born to it hits the table, if you'll forgive the metaphor. And you should understand how hard every part of that job is, and what it involves and what it entails and why it's difficult, so that you understand what games are. But also, as I say, so you develop that empathy for everyone else in the process, and you don't think you're better than anybody. You're just like the rock star isn't better than the roadies. You're not better than anyone along the process either, whether they're making the games in the factories or doing game reviews. Everyone's trying to do a good job and working on a hard job. And I see a lot of game designers, especially young game designers, going, "Oh, this is the really important thing. This is the only thing that I want to do." And that blinds you to the process and blinds you to understanding your industry better. It's going to take a while to build up these kind of experiences. It won't happen overnight. It may take you 10, 20 years before you've tried all sorts of different roles. I'm still learning about things and entering new roles, but the idea is to have it as a goal so you remain curious, right? And you remain looking for those experiences. You want to try every possible thing you can to see what it's like, to understand it, to get that experience, because that's what someone in an industry who is across an industry does. Right? If you're an actor, you should try every part of acting. You should direct. You should lead a project. You know, if you're a writer, you should edit, and you should, you know, at least understand printing and publishing and agents and distribution. You should go to bookstores and see how people consume your books. And if you're, you know, if you're a game designer, you should try out every step of the process. You can never stop learning. You can never know too much. There's always more to learn, and there's always more hats to wear. So wherever you can, put on one of those different hats and try it out. You'll learn so much more than you even think you can, and you'll be better at making every step of your game by learning what the other steps are like. That's today's episode. See you next time. Till then, play games, pet dogs, be good, have fun.